In the quiet corners of our minds, we find ourselves wrestling with the complexities of relationships. It's an arena where our deepest fears and desires are laid bare, where we are most vulnerable and most prone to error. As men, we strive for strength, stability, and control, but often find ourselves faltering, making mistakes that ripple through our relationships like a stone cast into a still pond. The philosophy of Stoicism, ancient yet timeless, offers us a lens through which we can examine these mistakes and, more importantly, learn from them. We embark on this journey not to criticize or belittle, but to enlighten and empower. The Stoic way of life is not about denying our emotions or retreating into cold indifference. Rather, it is about cultivating an inner fortress, a citadel of self-control, fortitude, and wisdom that can withstand the tempests of human interaction. As we explore these 12 common mistakes, let us keep in mind the words of Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. 1. Mistaking possession for love. One of the most profound errors men make in relationships is equating love with possession. We live in a world that often conflates attachment with affection, where the desire to control or own another person is mistaken for genuine care. This is a dangerous misconception that can lead to jealousy, insecurity, and ultimately, the erosion of the relationship itself. As Stoics, we must remember that love, in its truest form, is an act of the will, not a matter of possession. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that the things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts. If our thoughts are colored by the desire to control, we poison our own spirit and the relationship we seek to nurture. Instead, we should strive to love freely, allowing our partners to be who they are, without trying to mold them into what we desire them to be. This requires self-control and the fortitude to resist the urge to dominate. 2. Neglecting self-mastery. In the throes of passion or the comfort of routine, many men forget the importance of self-mastery. They allow their emotions to dictate their actions, reacting impulsively to situations rather than responding with reason and restraint. This is a critical mistake, for as the Stoics teach, mastery of the self is the foundation of all virtues. Seneca, in his letters to Lucilius, emphasizes the need for self-control. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This may seem harsh, but it is a call to humble oneself before the truth that we are not yet masters of our own emotions. We must strive to cultivate this mastery to respond to our partners with calmness and clarity, rather than with the wild swings of emotion that can so easily destabilize a relationship. 3. Ignoring the power of silence. In a world that often equates speaking with strength, many men underestimate the power of silence. We believe that to be heard is to be understood, and to be understood is to be valued. Yet in our rush to speak, we often forget that silence can be just as powerful, if not more so. The Stoics understood this well. Epictetus advised, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Silence is not a void, but a space where understanding can grow. In relationships, it is often in the quiet moments that we truly connect with our partners, that we hear not just their words, but their hearts. By embracing silence, we create room for reflection, for empathy, and for a deeper, more meaningful connection. 4. Failing to live in accord with nature. One of the core tenets of Stoicism is living in accord with nature, which means accepting the world as it is, rather than as we wish it to be. Many men make the mistake of trying to force their relationships into a preconceived mold, rather than allowing them to evolve naturally. This can lead to frustration, resentment, and ultimately, the breakdown of the relationship. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Adapt yourself to the things among which your lot has been cast, and love sincerely the fellow creatures with whom destiny has ordained that you shall live." In relationships, This means accepting our partners for who they are, not who we want them to be. It means embracing the natural flow of the relationship, rather than trying to control or direct it. This requires a deep sense of humility and a willingness to let go of our own desires for the greater good of the relationship. 5. Allowing external validation to define worth. In a society that often measures a man's worth by his status, wealth, or the opinions of others, it is easy to fall into the trap of seeking external validation. Many men make the mistake of allowing this validation to define their self-worth, which can lead to a constant need for approval from their partners. This is a dangerous path, for it places our sense of value in the hands of others, rather than within ourselves. Stoicism teaches us that true worth comes from within. As Epictetus said, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. We must cultivate an inner sense of value that is independent of external circumstances. In relationships, this means being confident in who we are without needing constant reassurance from our partners. It means understanding that our worth is not determined by others, but by our own actions and choices. 6. Overlooking the importance of self-reflection. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, it is easy to overlook the importance of self-reflection. Many men make the mistake of charging ahead without pausing to consider their own thoughts, feelings, and actions. This lack of introspection can lead to a disconnect between how we perceive ourselves and how we actually behave in relationships. Seneca advised, "The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today." You are arranging what lies in fortune's control and abandoning what lies in yours. Self-reflection is the key to understanding our own motivations and behaviors. It allows us to identify the areas where we fall short and to make the necessary changes to improve ourselves and our relationships. Without it, we are doomed to repeat the same mistakes over and over again. 7. Letting fear dictate actions. Fear is a powerful emotion, and one that can have a profound impact on our relationships. Many men make the mistake of allowing fear to dictate their actions, whether it is the fear of being alone, the fear of rejection, or the fear of vulnerability. This fear can lead to behaviors that are destructive to the relationship, such as clinging too tightly, withdrawing emotionally, or acting out in anger. The Stoics teach us that fear is a product of our own minds, not of external circumstances. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." In relationships, we must learn to face our fears head-on, to acknowledge them, but not let them control us. We must strive to act from a place of courage and conviction, rather than from a place of fear. 8. Failing to communicate clearly. Communication is the lifeblood of any relationship, yet many men make the mistake of failing to communicate clearly with their partners. This can stem from a variety of sources, such as fear of conflict, lack of self-awareness, or simply not knowing how to express oneself. Whatever the cause, poor communication can lead to misunderstandings, resentment, and ultimately, the breakdown of the relationship. Epictetus emphasized the importance of clear communication when he said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." In relationships, this means being honest with ourselves about our own needs and desires, and then communicating them clearly to our partners. It means listening as much as we speak, and being open to hearing our partner's perspective, even when it is difficult. Clear communication is the foundation of a strong, healthy relationship. 9. Clinging to the past. Many men make the mistake of clinging to the past, whether it is past relationships, past mistakes, or past hurts. This can prevent us from fully engaging in the present and moving forward in our relationships. The past can be a heavy burden to carry, and it can weigh down our relationships, preventing them from growing and evolving. The Stoics teach us to let go of the past and focus on the present. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Therefore, guard accordingly, and take care that you entertain no notions unsuitable to virtue and reasonable nature." In relationships, this means letting go of past grievances, forgiving ourselves and our partners for past mistakes, and focusing on building a future together. It means being fully present in the relationship, rather than being trapped in the past. 10. Neglecting the need for balance. In the pursuit of success, many men make the mistake of neglecting the need for balance in their lives. They throw themselves into their work, their hobbies, or their relationships with such intensity that other areas of their lives suffer. This lack of balance can lead to burnout, dissatisfaction, and ultimately, the breakdown of the relationship. The Stoics teach us the importance of balance in all things. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This is a reminder that our minds can easily become unbalanced if we focus too much on one aspect of our lives at the expense of others. In relationships, this means making time for our partners, for ourselves, and for the other important areas of our lives. It means striving for harmony, rather than allowing one part of our lives to overshadow the rest. 11. Resisting change. Change is an inevitable part of life, yet many men make the mistake of resisting it. Whether it is the changing dynamics of a relationship, the growth of a partner, or the evolution of one's own needs and desires, resisting change can lead to stagnation and dissatisfaction. This resistance can manifest as clinging to old habits, refusing to adapt to new circumstances, or failing to acknowledge the changing nature of the relationship. The Stoics teach us to embrace change as a natural part of life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Observe constantly that all things take place by change, and accustom yourself to consider that the nature of the universe loves nothing so much as to change the things which are, and to make new things like them." In relationships, this means being open to growth and evolution, both in ourselves and in our partners. It means adapting to the changing circumstances of the relationship and embracing the new challenges and opportunities that come with them. 12. Underestimating the value of gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful force that can transform our relationships, yet many men make the mistake of underestimating its value. They take their partners for granted, focusing on what is lacking rather than appreciating what they have. This lack of gratitude can lead to dissatisfaction, resentment, and ultimately, the breakdown of the relationship. The Stoics teach us the importance of gratitude in all aspects of life. Seneca wrote, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." In relationships, this means taking the time to appreciate our partners for who they are and what they bring to our lives. It means expressing our gratitude, both in words and actions, and making a conscious effort to focus on the positives in the relationship, rather than the negatives. Conclusion: as we navigate the complexities of relationships, it is easy to fall into these common mistakes. But by embracing the principles of Stoicism, we can cultivate the self-control, fortitude, and wisdom needed to overcome them. We can build stronger, healthier, and more fulfilling relationships, grounded in mutual respect, understanding, and love. Let us remember the words of Epictetus. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. In relationships, this means focusing on what truly matters, the connection we share with our partners, the growth we experience together, and the love we cultivate along the way. By avoiding these 12 mistakes, we can create relationships that are not only enduring, but also deeply meaningful. Relationships that are a true reflection of the Stoic virtues we strive to embody. As we conclude this journey, let us take a moment to reflect on our own relationships. Let us consider the ways in which we can apply these lessons to our own lives and commit to the path of self-improvement. For it is only through this continuous striving that we can truly embody the Stoic ideal and build relationships that stand the test of time.